Hi.
We're gonna talk about question 1B.
So, a big influence was American Gangster. It showed an alternative view of how our genre is told. For example, it was about a black gangster. It's usually about Italians and a Russian mafia. Our trailer was told from the female perspective. So we used themes like love, loyalty, trust, and betrayal. A great reference was also a telenovela which showed a woman in power. However, it was not a trailer, but we still drew inspiration from this.
Our trailer has a female lead, so our main character is a female. So she acts as an anti-hero instead of like a normal hero, which is not really conventional in the real media. Because like films, famous crime films like The Godfather, The Departed, these movies have male leads. Even in the in the magazines and posters, you see a male actor. There aren't many female examples, so that way we kind of subverted from the conventions.
The genre is mainly dominated by men, so we decided to take a postmodernist approach and modernize the conventions. We did this by having all female cast and only one boy.
Instead of telling the story from a male's perspective, we told it from a female's perspective.
Yep. Also, in a way, we conformed and subverted within our design and costume. For example, the girls are styled with leather boots, leather skirts, and basic black tops. So the leather represents them being in power and dominant because of the fabric. Also, they were wearing all black but had red lipstick and red nails, and this is mainly seen in gangster crime films. The colour scheme conforms to the genre of gangster crime and formal suits. So the police officer was dressed up in a black and white suit, which made the trailer more recognisable and conventional. But by having all female cast, it's subverted and modernised.
Our characters were really feminine, so we tried to show like how femininity, we used that as a empowerment, so feminine power. So instead of like dressing them in like street clothing, we decided to go the formal sexual kind of way.
Yeah, this was inspired by the Gangster Squad film. The main leader, Emma Stone, was wearing a red dress, red lipstick. She was feminine, but by having red lipstick and being the main leader, she was presented as dominant and powerful, which is what we aim to present our cast.
The iconography we used was guns, drug use,
money, low lighting.
These are all typical conventions for the genre.
So it makes the audience aware of the genre that we have chosen. That they instantly know what genre it is, which is gangster and crime, through those iconography.
It's easy to identify.
I was in charge of the editing process for the trailer, and in order for the editing to conform to the conventions, I had to follow the conventions of a gangster crime and inhabit that onto my trailer. The clicking sound that you heard at the beginning of the trailer was inspired by the Ocean's 8 trailer, and they used the clicking to help with the build-up, to introduce the characters. I also used fast-paced editing, which is quite common in gangster crime films / police crime, to help build up the suspense.
We used intertitles to represent our key themes such as loyalty, trust no one, integrity, and they were all highlighted in different colours to highlight their importance.
And also, like, the music used helped emphasise those words, because whilst I was editing, I made sure that Trust No One was in sync with the song. So because the song is kind of involved with the gang crime kind of soundtrack.
In a way it makes the audience more attached to the trailer, so they want to see more because they feel the tension and suspense being built up. We try to conform to our, to a large extent, we have conformed to our genre conventions, but in a way we took up postmodernist approach, which was to modernize the conventions and the genre and make it more modern by having a female cast.
Women can be in power and they can be strong, just be as strong as men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, our trailer is a niche market because there's not a lot of films that are female-based gangster crimes because the genre is mainly dominated by men. So it's something different that we have created. It means I'm saying also conform to our genre because we used a lot of low-key lighting.
We used the chains.
Handcuffs.
The location that we filmed most of our trailer was in a basement, which, because it looks kind of rusty, it kind of relates to the typical setting for a gangster crime.
We made the basement look like a trap house, so that's where they dealt the business, the drugs.
We created an investigation board to emphasize the fact that a police officer was involved and he was undercover, to show that the girls were part of a criminal gang and to make it clear, as some parts weren't as clear as we wanted it to be.
In our trailer, there were 2 main scenes, or 3. So one of the main scenes were the police officer wearing suit and tie, which conformed to our genre, and the other scenes were the girls doing drugs, so doing cocaine in a basement. But the 2 scenes kind of contrasted between each other and conformed to our genre.
To sum up, we subvert from our genre.
Our main aim was to modernize the typical conventions that mainly dominated by powerful institutions such as Hollywood films and make it all female cast, but so that the audience recognize what the trailer's about in the genre, we have used typical conventions such as face pass editing, iconography, soundtracks, locations, lighting that are all associated with gangster crime films.